Hello, everybody, and welcome back to We Watched a Thing with Billy and Dave. How you doing, mate?
I am very good. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, although I just lied there because we did not do what it says on the tin this week. We have not watched a thing.
No, we are filthy, dirty liars.
I mean, there's just nothing out in our defense. Like, we wanted to watch a thing, there was just nothing to watch. So
Yeah.
instead,
Everywhere elsewhere in the world, they're watching fucking Nosferatu and all sorts of stuff. The arsehole.
So you, Dave, threw out a couple of options for a top 10 list, and do you want to tell the people what we landed on?
We landed on top 10 favorite leading ladies.
Why did you do favourite in quotation marks just
Well,
then?
because it technically wasn't in there, but that's
No,
very much
it was just top 10 leading ladies, but
Yeah.
I assumed that meant favourite.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Now, tell me about this, though. How did you go about making this list? Because I'm not going to lie, I had to really think to nut down what defines a leading lady. And Noosk and I got in a bit of an argument about this because there's one person that she was like, well, she's got to be there. And I'm like, well, she's not a leading lady. She's a character actress. And we had a big disagreement about that. And she was saying basically, in her opinion, a leading lady has to have been the lead in something more than once. More than once. They have to have done it at least twice, and they have to have been the lead actress.
I think I'm on your side. It's not just being top billed. I went with a very much a sort of a classic Hollywood. The leading lady needs to carry the whole film. When they come on screen, you know they take over immediately. So some of my favorite actresses weren't even in consideration because that's just not who they are.
Yeah,
they don't sort of light up the screen and yeah, they're not movie stars.
Yeah. Look, I reckon that we're going to have a fair amount of crossover here then, Dave. Because unlike with the playlist where we don't allow crossovers, with these lists we do, I reckon we're going to have at least 3.
Probably more.
More? Okay. All right. Why don't you kick us off then with your number 10 leading lady?
All right. So my number 10 is number 10 because they have not done much yet.
Okay.
But over the last 3 or 4 years, every single project, as far as I'm concerned, they just dominate, irrespective of who else is in it. She comes in and she's, to me, and certainly to my good friend Gerald Morris, she is an electric presence. And I am talking, of course, about Dame Mia Goth.
Oh, right. Okay. All right, that's not who I thought you were leaning towards there, but I'm not going to say their name because now I reckon they are on your list 100%. So I think I've only seen Mia Goth in Triple X earlier. Yeah, Vaccine. Yeah. Sorry, that's what it was.
So I first saw. Oh no, you've seen the Luca Guadagnino's Suspiria.
Oh yes.
He wasn't the star in that, but the scenes that she was in, I thought she dominated. But she was in half of Lars von Trier's Nymphomaniac. Which she was very good in. That was very early. But I'm thinking more about obviously X, Pearl, Maxine, and Infinity Pool. Yeah. It's those 4 really, where she is the female lead in all of them, and just whenever she's on screen, I could basically forget who else is there. I find her captivating.
Yeah.
But number 10 because it is literally just based on those 4 films. She's very young. She's kind of just blossoming into leading lady category, I guess.
Yeah. My number 10 is of a similar vein. It's someone who hasn't done a huge amount, but I think where they have been the lead, they have absolutely carried the film. And I think that when you talk about celebrity, you know, when you're thinking of the kind of I'll throw some names out. You know, Judy Garland's, Julie Andrews, Audrey Hepburn's, those kind of names that give off the leading lady vibe. I think that this person has accumulated that kind of level of celebrity, whether or not they've had that many leading roles yet.
Yep.
Now, I should also preface this by saying I have a list of about 27 names in front of me, and I've just started to put them in order. So while you were talking...
This is not a vote top countdown. So we can double up. You don't need to
So while you were talking, I've just written down who are my 10, 9, and 8, and I will try and make the rest of my list before we get to those numbers. But I'm going with Margot Robbie as my number 10.
Good call.
Yeah, I just think that she was sensational in Barbie in particular, is what I'm going to. And she carried that film. I think every role she's been in, she's been really, really fantastic in.
I still haven't seen it, but everything I hear is that she's pretty amazing in the Ice Skater.
I, Tonya's fantastic. She's excellent in that.
And was she in? What was the what's his name?
Tarantino.
Rupert Murdoch, but not Rupert Murdoch. The sexual harassment.
Oh, Bombshell? No.
Bombshell. No. Bombshell's the Monroe thing, wasn't it?
I know the one you're talking about, and yes, I believe she was in it.
I mean, yeah, there were about 3 or 4 blonde leading ladies in that.
Yeah. No, I just think she's awesome, and I think that she's extremely talented. So there you go. That's my number 10. Over to you for 9.
All right, 9. We're going a little bit old school, but when you think about actresses who were stars almost before over and above their acting abilities, and who literally take over the screen in everything they're in, you can't go past good old Norma Jean Mortensen, aka Marilyn Monroe.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. No, that's completely fair. She is actually not on my shortlist. She was someone that I thought of, and I was like, look, I have to be honest. I haven't actually seen all that much that she's been in, so it didn't feel right for me to put her on the list. But tell me about.
She had a run through. Probably, I mean, she only acted for like 8 or 9 years, but in that time. From 1953, where she had Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, How to Marry a Millionaire, I think Niagara was that same year, all the way through Some Like It Hot, one of the greatest comedies of all time. And then towards the end, right before she died, doing some really serious acting work in things like Misfits with kind of an aging Cary Grant. Not Cary Grant, fucking what am I talking about? Clark Gable. She had genuine acting talent. It kind of got overshadowed because a lot of her, the first, 2/3 of that very short career was all ditzy blonde roles, which she nailed, but people kind of just assumed that's who she was, and she wasn't. She was a very ambitious woman, very, very intelligent, and it was only sadly right towards the end that she started getting kind of meatier roles that had a little bit more to them. But she is one of these, and I've got a couple of others on my list where they had that, quote unquote star power that you kind of isn't really a thing these days, although you have people who have it, but it doesn't get talked about. But it's what kind of got particularly female actors the big studio deals is, did they set the screen on fire? And 100% Marilyn Monroe did in everything.
Yeah. Completely fair. Yeah. No, that's good. All right. My number 9. And again, I've been doing this on the fly, but I've finished my 10. So it's locked in now. My number 9 is someone who was not on my short list. And then as you were talking about your number 10 pick, you brought up the remake of Suspiria. And of course, I'm going with Dakota Johnson, who I absolutely love and adore, and I don't care what anyone says.
I thought you were going to say there. But...
I really, really, really like Dakota Johnson. I think that she is a lot of fun. I just like her. I find her very engaging as an actress. I'm the guy who saw Madam Web twice. So, honestly, I'll watch anything she's in. I just find her super engaging.
I have liked her in some things, 50 Shades notwithstanding. But I generally, with the exception of Madam Web, I couldn't tell you a single thing. I know I've seen her in a shitload of things, and I couldn't tell you a single one of them off the top of my head. So she obviously doesn't have quite the electric power for me as she does for you, but I do like her.
Yeah, big fan.
And I know you're fond.
All right, you're number 8, I believe we're at.
All right, so I have the 3 most beautiful women of all time on my list. This is number 3.
Okay, I know it. I know who at least one of them is going to be.
Maybe it's this one. My number 8 is a French actress by the name of Catherine Deneuve.
Okay, not who I was thinking of.
Absolutely beautiful woman. Still acting now, as far as I'm aware. Certainly a couple of years ago, I was still seeing her in things. But her heyday was the late 60s, really. She was in 2 of my favorite Jacques Demy films, The Umbrellas of Cherbourg and Young Girls of Rochefort. She was in Roman Polanski's Repulsion, where she just acted her fucking socks off in one of the best portrayals of insanity ever caught on screen. She is a phenomenal actress, beautiful woman, and in some of my favorite things. And just as with, I mean, everyone on my list and probably on yours as well, in my view, when she's on screen, you can't look away.
Yeah.
Just stunning. And a beautiful voice as well.
Yeah. Nice.
Sings like an angel.
Nice. All right. My number 8 is someone that you will absolutely be familiar with, although I am not expecting them to be on your list. I'm going back.
Sally Field.
I'm going back to the 90s here with, I mean, she's still kicking around, don't get me wrong, and she's very much still a leading lady, but I'm going with my girl Sandy B. It's Sandra Bullock. I know that I'm going to make M. Higgins very happy there with that choice, but as soon as you threw out this topic, honestly, like, The Net, I absolutely love. Speed, like, she is in some fucking bangers.
2 weeks notice.
Yeah. Big fan of Sandy B. I think that she's charming. And Miss Congeniality. Like,
I love Sandra Bullock. I think she's an absolute. I even like that. What was that? City,
the one.
Something's Lost City or whatever.
Yeah, Lost City. Yeah. With Daniel Radcliffe as the bad guy. Yeah, I liked that. I saw that movie twice.
Tell you what, my favorite Sandy B is actually River Phoenix's last movie. It's Peter Bogdanovich's The Thing Called Love.
Okay.
Where it's Samantha Mathis, who I was in love with in high school back from Pump Up the Volume, River Phoenix, Dermot Mulroney, Sandy B, and a few others, and they're aspiring songwriters in Nashville.
Yep.
So it's got all sorts of country music and country music stars in it, and there's just relationships between them, that sort of thing. It's a Peter Bogdanovich, so if you like his kind of relationship type drama things like Last Picture Show, that sort of thing, it's that, but in the 90s with country music. And she's this real Southern gal, like white leather tassels on her jacket, and I think from memory she wants to be a beauty pageant, enter beauty pageants. But yeah, young before anyone knew who she was. Love it. Good call. Nice pick.
All right, number 7 for you, and I can't believe so far we haven't had any crossover, but I'm sure that'll change.
I'm not sure that we will here. It depends how big a Mika fan you are. No, my number 7 is the second most beautiful woman ever to grace our beautiful green planet. I am going with Princess Grace Kelly.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Again, not a huge, very long acting career because, of course, married into royalty.
Yep.
She did a Meghan Markle. But, Hitchcock stuff, To Catch a Thief, what's it called, Rear Window. It's just so much charisma. I mean, when you can hold your own and win against Cary Grant and the charisma stakes, you're a fucking movie star.
Yeah. All right, over to my number 7. Again, someone you'll absolutely be familiar with. I'm sure it's a choice that you'll agree with. I'm not sure whether it'll make your list though. This was a tough one for me because as much as I love this person and these performances in particular, you might argue that she's not leading lady. I don't know. Maybe you'll agree with me. Maybe you won't. I'm going with Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, 100% leading
100%. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Alien, and all variations thereof.
Yes.
She's the lead in all of those.
Yes, exactly. And like, sure, she's mostly known for that franchise, but she is
Ghostbusters.
Well, yeah, there you go. She's just fantastic. I love Sigourney Weaver. I mean, I love Ridley in particular. Sorry, Ripley. But yeah, no, big fan. Yep.
Yeah, good call. I didn't even cross my radar actually, but yeah, possibly should have. Especially after we just watched her star turn in The Village.
Yes, great movie that one is.
I think we may be entering crossover territory now.
Okay.
So I'm glad I'm going to be the first person to mention this wonderful woman anyway. I'm going with an English actress that I like to call Flo, but the rest of the world knows her as Florence Pugh.
Okay, not on my list.
Whoa!
Yeah. Probably should have been. But again, one of those names that did not cross my mind. And now I'm questioning how that happened, given that I've got a list of like 27 or something. But yeah, no, that's a completely great choice.
I mean, hasn't had a lot of starring roles. I mean, Midsommar, obviously, Fighting With My Family, which is, I'm not sure if you've got to that.
Little Women.
Little Women. Yeah, I mean, ensemble, and she's not the main star in that. But, I mean, Midsommar alone, she is on a big star turn. Oppenheimer, and she dominated that film as far as I'm concerned. By far the most interesting parts of that movie were the bits that she was in.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful, and obviously now Dune Part 2, etc. She is cropping up in everything now, and is just an absolute delight.
Yeah, completely good call. Fuck yeah, I don't know how I didn't think of that. All right, I think that we're sticking in crossover territory though. I'm willing to bet that my next choice is on your list because my number 6 is Anne Hathaway.
My number 5, Anne Hathaway.
There you go. Let's talk about Anne.
This part of this episode is dedicated to a friend of the show, Paul Prezula.
Noosk was furious when I put Anne Hathaway on the list because, much like Paul, Noosk hates Anne Hathaway. I often infuriate her by saying, "But Anne Hathaway's the every woman," and Noosk gets furious at me for saying that.
I'm sorry. I mean, I did like Noosk when I met her. Maybe I didn't know she was clinically insane.
I mean, what's your favourite Hathaway role? She's had so many great ones.
I mean, Les Mis is obviously
I knew that's where you were going to go with it.
But and this is one of the things that was kind of a deciding factor as I get into the top half of my list, the sort of 5 through 1. The reason they're so high, apart from the fact that I just love them all so much, is that they've got so many strings to their bow. Hathaway's one, she can do Les Mis, where she's just ripping herself to shreds, and her scenes in that film are phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And then she can do, straight dry comedy in like Ocean's 8 or Devil Wears Prada, or she can do any type of role.
Yep. Nice. All right, there we go. First crossover.
Fucking slay in that celebrity karaoke or lip sync battle, whatever it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, that takes it back to me then for my number 5.
Right back to you, my friend.
My number 5, I don't think will be on your list, but it's Jodie Foster.
No, not on my list.
Okay.
I like Jodie Foster, but again, it's one of those ones where I can name immediately like 4 or 5 things, but they're all from donkey's years ago.
Yes.
Hotel New Hampshire and all the way up to the Accused and Silence. But
yeah, I think that's
I haven't seen really anything since then.
See, this was a tough one, and it probably seems crazy that she's this high with, like you say, not such a readily available in the brain filmography. But I just think that performance in Silence of the Lambs alone is so fucking memorable.
She's the best thing about that film.
Yeah, that as soon as this topic came, as soon as this topic was thrown out, she just leapt immediately to my mind purely on the strength of that performance. And then, I mean, Taxi Driver, where she's a fucking kid, but I still think that is Scorsese's best film for me.
Yeah, same.
I just think that she's phenomenal.
Yeah, I had a big crush on her when I was quite young in Hotel New Hampshire and Bugsy Malone and
Bugsy Malone,
that era where not child actor, and it's not weird, listeners. I can hear you rolling your eyes. I was the same age. It's not weird. No, I thought she was so kind of sassy and tomboyish, and I found that most compelling when I was probably 9 or 10. But did you see The Accused?
No.
Where she's the rape victim, the kind of working class. She's got like a pixie haircut. She's a rape victim, and I think Kelly McGillis is the lawyer that defends her or helps her. Because it's in the American South. No one believes her. It's she's a kind of a foul drinking, smoking bar mate. So no one takes her seriously, and then she get there. I think it's Kelly McGillis comes in. That was her first acting Oscar, I think. First best actor, I think.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, good call. You didn't even think of her. Alrighty, number 4. Speaking of people that can do any genre and just smack it out of the park, I'm going with South Africa's favorite daughter, Charlize Theron.
Yeah, she's on my shortlist, but didn't make my full top 10. But I mean, an excellent call. I mean, a truly excellent call.
To my mind, and again, I dedicate this bit to Paul Priscilla, the greatest action star working today outside of Asian cinema.
Yeah.
Atomic Blonde is better than all 4 of the John Wicks put together.
We
got Atomic Blonde 2 coming. Old Guard, I really enjoyed.
I fucking hated Old Guard. Old Guard is one of the things that stopped me from putting her on this list.
But she is convincing in action, I think.
Yeah.
Completely convincing, but can then go and do Million Ways to Die in the West with Seth MacFarlane, and then go and do Monster and get a best actor for that. Any genre she nails, and of course Fury Road.
Yeah,
how can we forget? So yeah, I like her in everything, and this, we're in that part of the list now where I will see something just because these actresses are in it.
Yeah.
Don't even tell me the plot. Don't tell me what it is. There's a new Charlize Theron movie. Sure, I'll watch that quite happily.
Yeah. Nice. All right. My number 4 is not going to be a crossover with you. I know that right now. And look, I know what's going to happen here. I'm going to say this name, and everyone is just going to go. It's just because of the jugs. It's not. It's really not just because of the jugs. I think Sydney Sweeney is actually such a fucking good actress. And I just love her so much. Oh my God, you got a soundboard going.
I was really hoping, I hadn't actually listened to that one. I was hoping it was going to be an auga. So yeah, not quite as appropriate as I thought. No, I knew this was good. Although I've got to take you to task, because you are on record as saying you love her. She thinks she's great, but she is not a leading lady.
I did say that. I think what I said was that she's not a romantic leading lady. I think she...
Sure. I can hear those pedals going backwards. I'm not arguing. I think she's an absolute bombshell. I think she's a knockout. In talent-wise, as well as obviously being quite, easy on the eyes. I think she's great.
I think she's such a great actress. I think she's an underrated actress because of how attractive she is. But
100% a leading lady too. Just think, she was in that fantastic romantic comedy just recently. What was it called?
Anyone But You.
Had that. I mean, when we get to leading men, oh God, talk about a couple of smoke shows. Anyway, I derailed you. Keep going.
But honestly, Immaculate is probably still my number 1 movie of the year. It's still in the top 5 for sure. Her performance in that is just so fucking good. Those final 10 minutes are next level. So, yep, that is my number 4, Sydney Sweeney.
Tell you what, just on that, I don't think we've ever had a year that I can remember anyway where I could almost, I think the top 4 or 5 female acting performances of the year are all in horror movies. None of them are getting nominated, but I genuinely think that all of the best female performances that I've seen anyway are all from horror movies.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
and Sydney Sweeney is obviously one of those as well. But
yeah,
far out.
All right, top three.
Top three. These three were always the top three, and they were always in this order. So,
well, then I hope we have some crossover.
I'm sure we must, especially with the poor thing I've got at number 3.
That's also my number 3. Yep.
There we go.
Emma Stone.
Emily, aka Emma Stone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not only comedy, Easy A, Lanthimos, drama, blah, 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 musicals, fucking anything.
Yeah.
She's also an absolute delight in interviews.
Yeah.
I find her just incredibly engaging. She almost gets me to watch a Nathan Fielder thing. That's how amazing she is, that she can almost counterbalance what an insufferable twat he is.
Oh, you prick.
Tell me, I mean, we're
100%. I mean, Crazy Stupid Love. I just think that she is fantastic. Like you said, and she just seems like a genuinely cool person to boot as well.
I haven't seen it yet, but she did. I'm trying to think what it was. You know, when Variety do all of their movie stars asking each other questions or insulting each other or doing all the various clips, she did one with Andrew Garfield that was just fucking, it was just a delight. And her and Gosling, anytime you see them together, it's just charisma city. But she, absolutely, we love her. We know we love her.
Yep. All right. So,
have you seen Kinds of Kindness yet?
No, I still haven't.
Oh,
no.
Come on.
I will. I'll get to it.
Sort yourself out.
I've got a lot of other things that I'm doing, but
apparently I'm not allowed to know what they are, though.
All right, you're number 2.
Number 2. I mean, far out. I mean, if you're talking greatest actresses of all time, most people will probably all say the same person, and that is the luminous Meryl Streep.
Not on my list.
What the fuck, dude?
On my short list, but it's one of those funny things where, yes, people love Meryl Streep, and I get it.
Academy Award nominations.
See, but my favorite performance that Meryl Streep has ever done by far is Adaptation. I think Adaptation is easily her best performance. And outside of that, I'm just one of those people who doesn't love her. Like, I think that she's fine, but I feel like a lot, especially the last 15 years, I feel like most performances feel phoned in.
Never. None of them.
Look, I know that you're a Mamma Mia fan.
Oh, she is fantastic in both of those. But, I mean, the couple of years after Adaptation, Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
She is, that is such an iconic performance. And then she can do things like Into the Woods and do Sondheim and musicals and drama, Bridges of Madison County, Deer Hunter, Kramer versus Kramer, Silkwood. Oh, just nothing but quality. And the thing I love most is you would think that someone who is, and she is, like, you've got your Glenn Closes and other people who had a lot of nominations. She is so far ahead of anyone else in terms of accolades and things throughout the history of Western cinema. No one's even close. You would think that she would have ego. How could you not?
Yeah.
But she'll go and do Death Becomes Her. She'll take the piss out of herself in interviews. She is an absolute delight to see interviewed. And you think, far out.
Okay, no. Good call. So that means that at least one of our top 3 is not going to be a crossover. I guess we'll see where our number 1 lands. But my number 2 is Natalie Portman, who I love. I think she's fantastic. V for Vendetta,
I was going to
Closer, Garden State. Again, she's someone who has so much range. Her fucking rap that she did with The Lonely Island on SNL. She's just, I think that she's fantastic. And
how one actress can be in Black Swan, and Your Highness, and be amazing in both films.
Yeah,
it's kind of and I'm confident she's not your number one, so I can mention it. Emma Watson's another one who
I saw her on a lot of lists online.
Hasn't done as much stuff, but again, so happy to go in This Is the End and be in that sort of toilet humor. And best version of Beauty and the Beast. So
that's such shit.
Yeah, good call. Right. No, Lee on The Professional. What can you say? Beautiful.
Oh,
yes. Have you seen Beautiful Girls?
Oh, yes.
Beautiful Girls. Oh,
yeah,
good.
Yeah. She's just fantastic. All right, so we're down to our number ones then. Now, looking at mine in my head, there is absolutely no way that we don't have the same number one because it just wouldn't make sense to me. Do you think that our number one is a crossover?
Questioning what my number one in this list is makes me think you don't even know me.
Well, see, now that has me worried because I don't think we have the same number one then. Because can I have a guess at yours?
You could have a guess.
Is yours Anya Taylor-Joy?
Of course, it's Anya Taylor-Joy.
Wow. Okay. All right. Not even on my short list.
Because you're a terrible person.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Not only the most stunningly beautiful woman who's ever walked the earth, but just an incredible actress who can turn her hand to anything. Every role, she has not delivered a bad performance ever. Even when she's in shit like the fucking Playmobil movie, she's still the most engaging thing in it. Just electric on screen. And even though she's, like when you see her interviewed, she's almost otherworldly glamorous. But I've seen interviews with Robert Eggers when he was filming The Northman. All of the great big burly Vikings stuntmen and extras were complaining it was too cold and not wanting. And she was jumping, sans underwear and shoes into the icy water, going, "Come on! When would you have a chance to do anything like absolutely fearless."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's a good call.
Surprise. Everyone knows how much I love her.
Yeah, well, I knew that she'd be on your list, but then when you hadn't said her by number one, I was okay. Yeah, okay. All right, no, that's completely fair. That's completely fair.
100%, mate. I will. Not only will I watch anything she's in, I will watch everything she's in.
Yeah.
I've never not loved her in anything.
All right. Would you like to take a guess at my number one?
And it hasn't been mentioned yet.
It hasn't been mentioned at all, which really shocks me.
Let me look at my honorables.
If she's not even on your honorables...
I've got a lot of honorables.
You deserve a turkey slap, Dave. Because I am talking about Kate Winslet.
Oh, yeah. No, I knew she'd be on... Oh, yeah. He's on my honorables.
Who is one of the greatest actresses of all
I knew she'd be on your list, so if I'd thought about it longer,
I mean, purely looking at Titanic and Eternal Sunshine, she wins it. Just from those two movies.
One of those things is not like the other.
They're both fucking brilliant, and she is brilliant in both of them. Heavenly Creatures...
No. Heavenly Creatures, The Holiday. I'll give you all these things. Revolutionary Road. Anything. I'll give you Revolutionary Road if you want a Leo film. I'm not giving you the fucking boat film. That's a silly film.
She's just... Again, the range is insane. When you see the performances that she does, and then you see her in something like Extras, where she's, flooding myself stupid and bloody loving it. She's just, you know what? I might actually watch The Holiday tonight.
You cannot watch that. No, I would, but it's one of my Christmas movies, so it's on my list for in a week and a half or whenever it is.
Yeah. She's just fantastic. I can't believe that she wasn't even in your... That just makes me sad because she's the greatest actress ever to have lived, and she's the most beautiful actress ever to have lived.
I adore her, and she was very close. I was trying to kind of keep a bit of variety between classic Hollywood and up-and-comers. She was absolutely in the mix. I'm sort of questioning...
Well,
No, I'm happy. I'm happy with my 10. I'm happy with my
yeah,
10.
I'm okay with mine, given that I threw it together while you were saying your first couple. All right, I'll just
Have you
throw
got
out.
any honourable mentions you want to?
I'll throw out some honourable mentions. Yeah. Firstly, I'll just give Nooska a shout out. The one that she really wanted on the list that I said is not a leading lady is Olivia Colman, and she got very angry with me about that.
I don't care about the favourite. She's
not the lead in The Favourite, though. That's what I said to Noosk. The leads.
She isn't the favourite.
The leads are Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Olivia Colman's brilliant.
She is the favourite.
Yeah. So I did have Meryl Streep in my shortlist. Julie Andrews. I'm a big Julie Andrews fan.
Same shortlist.
Scarlett Johansson. Charlize Theron was in my shortlist. Amy Adams. And Rachel Weisz.
Didn't make mine because I sometimes find her annoying.
No, me too. That's why I cut her.
In Arrival and other things where I love her, but
yeah.
But again, variety she can do in Arrival, and then and what was the one where she was either a drug addict or probably some David O. Russell thing. But then she'll do Enchanted.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any honourables?
Yeah, I mean, I had Margot Robbie and Scarlett. Hayley Steinfeld, I will watch anything she's in, and I think she's fantastic, and I love her, and she's 100% a leading, after TV shows like Dickinson. But I just thought she hasn't done enough yet. Jennifer Lawrence, Michelle Pfeiffer was very close.
Oh, yeah.
I was desperately in love with her when I was a teenager. Rebecca Ferguson. And Jodie Comer was the only other one that was super close. But again, just haven't seen her in it as much stuff. So I thought, that's a reason to rule someone out and make it easier to do a 10.
Nice.
Shall I rattle off some listeners?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you've got the listener stuff, yeah.
Yep. So, if you're not already a member, head on over to the Potty Mouth Radio listener community on Facebook, and you too can contribute to episodes. Luke James Human had number 3, Kate Winslet.
Yes.
Number 2, Florence Pugh. Number 1, that neither of us mentioned, Marion Cotillard.
Oh, no, that is an excellent call. That is a good call.
Yeah, I do like a bit of Cotillard. Joey DiCarlo had Angel Youngs, Angela White, and Lena Paul. Who
I don't know the first name.
Will not know these names.
Yeah, I don't know the first name, but by the second name, I'm picking up what Joey is doing there.
Yeah, what he's serving up. They perform in a certain type of film, popular with men the world over.
And Joey is, of course, from the So Wizard podcast, which is excellent.
Which is actually about pop culture, not porn. Dia Cole had Thomas and Mackenzie, who I am very fond of.
Yep.
But Jojo Rabbit. Oh yeah, she's very. I was just thinking, when I picture her, she's completely overshadowed by Anya Taylor-Joy in Last Night in Soho. So, Dia had number 2, Vanessa Kirby, who Billy hates because she's over 5'2", and Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, I considered Julia Louis-Dreyfus. TV, yeah.
Absolutely.
And I did think about it because we hadn't actually discussed. We didn't specify it was film or TV. So I really did. I also had Kristen Bell close to my list based pretty much purely on Veronica Mars and The Good Place. Yeah, okay.
Have you seen the new one with Brody?
With who?
Brody?
Oh, no, I haven't, no.
Oh, God, Nooska will love that.
There's so many shows to watch. Mike Schur has a new show with Ted Danson as well.
Or something. It's 8 episodes, and I think they're only half an hour each or something.
Yeah,
it's
right.
In and out. But, it's right up your alley. Very, I got catastrophe vibes off it.
Nice.
Jonathan Lamb had number 3, Kate Blanchett, who I know you're a massive fan of. Your other favourite, Kate. Number 2, Emma Stone. Nice. And number 1, Emily Blunt.
Okay.
Who I didn't think of.
No, me neither.
Maybe should have. I am fond.
Yeah.
Matt Evans had number 3. Matt must be an Aussie. Number 3, Claudia Caravan.
Ah, yes.
Nice. I was very fond of Claudia Caravan.
From Dating the Enemy.
Secret Life of Us.
Yep.
That was the TV show. Yeah. Yeah, what? Such a show. Guy Pearce goes on and fucking gets LA Confidential and all this other shit. Claudia Carvin, who was better in that than Guy Pearce was, fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Matt had number 2, Patricia Arquette.
Yep.
Who I have been very fond of. Lost Highway, nice. And number 1, Natalie Portman.
Nice.
Liz, good old Liz from Movie Reviews and 20 Qs. Liz is the star of her own movie, and she just said me.
Liz, you're my favourite leading lady too.
Yes, indeed. You're the leading lady of Time to Die, the D&D podcast. Adam Miller had number 3, Dame Judi Dench.
Oh, okay, yep.
Number 2, Sigourney Weaver. And, Adam, number 1, Sally fucking Field. I hate Sally Field. Adam, I can't stand Sally fucking Field.
How can you rag on me for hating Cate Blanchett when you hate Sally Field?
Because, oh my God, everything since Gidget, she's been annoying. I recognize that she is a competent actress. She acts well, deserved recipient of all the accolades she's had. I can't abide her. She opens her mouth and I just want to rip my own ears off. So thank you everyone that got back to us. There's some good responses in there, some things we hadn't even thought of.
Yeah, this is the problem when you decide what you're going to be doing the day before you're doing it. Because it was only yesterday that I threw Dave a message saying, have we decided what we're doing on the show
yet? It's not our fault because all the shit that's supposed to have come out 3 days ago,
hasn't come out. Yeah.
5 days ago, still isn't fucking out.
I know. I was looking at movie times for tomorrow still, and still nothing. I've got one screening of Girl from the North Country at like 10 a.m. tomorrow, and that's the only
I think
new
that's
one.
Last week there's just like 10:50 on a Wednesday, and then nothing Thursday, Friday. It's just this one showing, which is during the day when people are at work, so that's no good.
Yeah.
It's weird. There must be some reason for it because it's every cinema and it's every film.
Yeah.
There's some
just
strike
bizarre.
somewhere.
So, I mean, look, to be honest, I think next week, sadly, we're doing Kraven the Hunter. I think that's...
Why sadly? You are the world's biggest fan of the Sony shitverse.
Look, I don't mind the Venom films, and I like Madam Web.
So I'm basically Adam Webb with the other ATJ in it.
I'm curious to see it. So that's what we're getting to next week. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the awesome feedback there. We had heaps of nice feedback. If you want to get in touch with us, you can definitely go join the Facebook Potty Mouth listener community, and that's where you can get involved with the show. And also coming soon, I think we're going to have the scavenger hunt, the movie scavenger hunt starting over there.
Super listener, super patron Josh Ragland's 5th or 6th
I think it's his 6th year running it, usually over on the Countdown listener community, but this year moving it over to us.
Yeah, absolutely. That will all be in the Potty Mouth listener community, so it's in huge amount of fun if you haven't taken part before. So head on over. There'll be announcements very shortly.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you, and we'll catch you next week.
See ya.